Have you ever wondered why some people disappear from social media for a long time, no posts, no updates, and then suddenly reappear with a completely different life, stronger, more successful, and leaving everyone stunned? The truth is, success doesn't come from what we say, but from what we quietly do. Silence is not weakness. It is a moment of focus, a pause before the leap. Just like a tiger stepping back before striking, people sometimes need to withdraw from the noise to rebuild and grow stronger. The problem is, many of us waste too much energy on talking. I'm going to change. I'll start tomorrow. But the more we talk, the more we trick ourselves into believing we've made progress. Results don't come from declarations, they come from daily actions, repeated over and over, even when no one is watching. Today's video is an invitation to explore the power of silence, something often underestimated, yet the ultimate weapon of the most successful people. This is Different Thinking, a channel where we learn to think, act, and live differently to reach the best version of ourselves. If you find this video valuable, hit subscribe to Different Thinking today. As a thank you, I've prepared a special gift just for you, a free ebook titled The Mistake of Showing Off Too Soon. You can download it right now in the description or pinned comment below. Inside are concise insights to help you start changing tonight. Don't miss this opportunity, because even one small habit can create a completely different future for you. When people think of success, they often imagine spotlights, applause, or social media posts flaunting achievements. But the truth is the opposite. The most successful people disappear while they're building, and only show up when the results are powerful enough to silence the world. Think of an Olympic athlete. You don't see them live streaming every training session or constantly bragging about their preparation. Instead, they train for thousands of hours in silence, in sweat, in moments when no one is watching. And then one day, they step onto the world stage, win a medal, and everyone gasps. Where did this person come from? The power of silence lies here. It shields you from distractions, from judgmental eyes, and from the temptation to prove yourself too early. When you remain silent, you conserve all your energy for action. Have you noticed? Those who talk too much about their plans rarely follow through. Meanwhile, those who say little often let their results speak louder than any bragging ever could. Silence is like an invisible armor, protecting you from unnecessary pressure. A friend once told me, if you have to shout that you're strong, you're not strong yet. That line stuck with me. Truly strong people don't need to say it. Their eyes, their actions, and their results are proof enough. So if you feel unrecognized, don't rush to find a stage to prove yourself. Be patient, disappear for a while, solely to focus on building yourself. Because one day, you'll show up, and just one undeniable result will be enough to leave everyone speechless. Here's a question for you. Which type of person do you want to be? The one who always talks about changing but never follows through? Or the one who quietly acts and lets results speak for themselves? Here's something fascinating most people overlook. Every time we announce a goal, our brain tricks us into feeling like we've already achieved part of it. You declare, "I'm going to lose weight," and suddenly you feel relieved, excited, as if you're already on the journey. But in reality, that excitement is just an illusion. That's why, the more we talk, the more we lose the energy to act. How many times have you told your friends you'll start learning English, launch a project, or hit the gym? And how many of those times did you actually follow through to the end? Sharing your goals too early is like spending your motivation before it ever becomes action. You tell the world you're about to change, and then when challenges come, you don't have the strength to push through, because you've already burned too much energy talking about it instead of doing it. A psychological study once showed that when we announce our goals publicly, the brain registers it as partial success, so it pushes us less to work hard. That's why so many people start with fire and enthusiasm, only to quit soon after. Instead of telling the whole world, keep it to yourself. You don't need anyone to validate that you're on the right path. The only thing you truly need is a solid commitment to yourself. No matter how hard it gets, you will see it through. Think back to the last time you bragged that you were going to change. Did you actually change? If the answer is, not yet, that's your clearest proof. Stop rushing to share. Let silence become your treasure chest of energy, reserved only for action. Here's a question for you. Will you dare, just once, to stay silent about your plans, and let the results speak instead? True success doesn't arrive with fireworks or loud promises. It comes from the small, unseen moments. The morning you get out of bed on time. The evening you put your phone aside to read a chapter. Or the choice to focus on work while everyone else is out having fun. These things may seem ordinary, even boring, but it's the consistency and silence that builds a strong foundation. A single brick laid today may go unnoticed, but stack brick after brick, and over the years it becomes a solid wall. Have you ever run into an old friend and been shocked at how much they've changed in just a few years? They didn't brag about every step, but when you saw them again, they were a completely different person. That's the power of small actions, repeated quietly over time. Many people wait for a big breakthrough, a single, aha, moment to change their lives. But the truth is, there's no magic. Success is simply the accumulation of thousands of small, quiet, correct choices. Picture a seed. It doesn't sprout on day one. For weeks, it lies beneath the soil, quietly absorbing water, growing roots, waiting patiently, and then one day, it pushes through the ground, becoming a plant, then a forest. We're the same. Every major change starts in silence. So don't underestimate the small steps you take today. They're not meaningless. Every patient action, every disciplined choice is a brick paving the road toward your dreams. Here's a question for you. Are you quietly building a better version of yourself each day? Or are you still waiting for a miracle to change your life? There are stages in life where you have to walk alone, not because no one wants to join you, but because no one can fully understand what you're going through. Loneliness is not the enemy, it's a teacher. Maturity isn't when you can speak grand words. It's when you're calm enough to face pain without complaining, without blaming, without waiting for someone to save you. In that moment, you begin to understand what true strength really is. Strength is not the absence of pain. It's the ability to keep moving even when pain is crushing you. It doesn't come from muscles or a loud voice, but from patience and endurance in silence. Think back to a time when you felt abandoned, when no one cared about the battle you were fighting. In that moment, you had two choices: give up, or stand up and keep going. If you chose to rise, you already know, you became far stronger than the version of yourself from yesterday. I once heard someone say, pain doesn't make you weaker. It teaches you how to be strong. And it's true, many essential skills, much inner strength only appear when there's nowhere left to hide, when you're forced to face things on your own. If you're in a season of loneliness, don't see it as punishment, see it as an opportunity to discover yourself. That's when you truly find who you are, not when you rely on outside encouragement, but when you learn to lift yourself up. Here's a question for you. Are you willing to face pain and loneliness? To walk out of it as a stronger version of yourself? Or will you let it hold you back? The world today is noisier than ever. We're surrounded by news, comments, social media, and advice from every direction. If you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day reacting to others instead of building your own path. Have you noticed? Every time you stop to respond to criticism or argue with an opinion, you lose energy that should have gone into action. And at the end of the day, you're drained, but no closer to your goals. Success never comes from reacting to everyone. It comes from ignoring the noise and focusing on just a few things that truly matter. Look at the best people in their fields. They don't waste time explaining or convincing skeptics. They spend every minute acting and let time answer on their behalf. There's a quote I love: "You can't walk far if you keep turning back every time someone calls your name." If you care too much about what everyone thinks, you'll never make it far. So dare to choose focus. Focus doesn't mean selfishness. It means knowing what truly matters in your life. Every minute you spend on something meaningless is a minute you've walked away from your dream. You don't need to explain your path to the world. Let your results be the answer later. Here's a question for you. What will you choose to focus on today? And what noise are you willing to cut out to protect your energy? Your energy is like a fuel tank. If you let it leak into meaningless conversations, unnecessary news, or people who only judge, you'll have nothing left for the actions that truly matter. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's a survival strategy. Successful people aren't the ones who do everything. They're the ones who cut out what doesn't serve their goals. Imagine a farmer. If he plants seeds in soil filled with rocks and weeds, nothing will grow. But if he clears and protects the soil, the seeds have a chance to flourish. Our lives are the same. You must clear out the weeds that drain your mental energy. A quiet space isn't just physical. It's a mental state where you're no longer ruled by comparison, by noise, or by the pressure to prove yourself to others. I've met people who are always busy, jumping from one thing to another, but when they look back, they've barely moved forward. On the other hand, those who pause, create space to think, often go much farther. Silence is the armor that protects you from outside distractions. When your mind is still, you can finally hear your inner voice, what truly matters, what deserves your focus right now. So starting today, create a quiet zone for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated, maybe 30 minutes without social media. No messages, just you and the most important task. Here's a question for you. Have you given yourself enough silence to hear your own voice? Or are you still letting the outside world dictate your direction? In the end, the world doesn't care how many promises you've made, or how many motivational speeches you've given. The only thing people look at is the result. Results are the strongest voice because they need no explanation. You don't have to say you're changing. Your eyes, the way you live, and the outcomes you create will say it for you. Think of a tree. It doesn't brag when it sprouts. It doesn't post a status when it grows a new leaf. It just quietly grows. And one day, the entire forest realizes, it's there. Tall, strong, and impossible to ignore. People are the same. You could stay silent for an entire year, saying nothing, but if you persist, when results finally show, no one can deny them. The world doesn't remember those who said they would change. The world remembers those who actually did. The difference lies in action, not words. I remember a businessman once said, "I don't need to tell anyone I'm working hard. One day, when they see I've built an entire company, no words will be necessary." So if you're truly serious, stop seeking outside validation. Focus on your work. One day, the results you achieve will become undeniable proof. Here's a question for you. Do you want the world to remember you for your promises, or for the results that leave them silent with respect? Looking back at the entire journey, one truth becomes clear. Success doesn't come from declarations, or from social media posts. It comes from repeated actions, carried out in silence, day after day. You don't need to prove to anyone that you're changing. You don't need outside validation to know you're on the right path. The only thing you need is commitment to yourself, and the patience to let time speak on your behalf. The world won't remember what you said, but it will never ignore what you've accomplished. And most importantly, when you no longer need recognition from others, you'll discover true freedom and strength within yourself. So starting today, begin with one small thing, one concrete action. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect day. Success is built from persistence, from discipline, and from quiet but steady steps forward. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe to Different Thinking today. As a thank you, I prepared a special gift for you, a free ebook titled The Mistake of Showing Off Too Soon. You can download it right now in the description or the pinned comment below. And if you want to see this entire journey, click the playlist link below. One small decision today can change your entire future.